Good afternoon. Before we begin this final Du Bois seminar, we have a very important announcement from Dr. Candy Tate.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just want to make you aware that there will be a memorial toast to Dr. Richard A. Long, founder of the African American Studies program at Clark Atlanta University, then Atlanta University. It will be Saturday, January 26th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Clark Atlanta University galleries. So we hope that you will be able to attend.
Good afternoon. Welcome again for a final time to the Sojourn. My name is Dr. Stephanie Evans, and I am honored to be chair of African American Studies, Africana Women's Studies, and History here at Clark Atlanta University. This time last year, in 2012, we began the W.E.B. Du Bois year-long seminar. As you know, we've been reading collectively Dr. Du Bois in preparation for a conference that will be held next month. Reading Dr. Du Bois thematically with his Atlanta University publication series as the cornerstone of the seminar series has been nothing less than phenomenal, a re-education at least. We've read on Africa, on business, on church, family, and uplift, race research, and all of these videos, 40 videos, are available online at www.cau.edu. And so you have the benefit of, if you have not been able to attend the entire series, we have the series online. The occasion for the conference is the 50th anniversary of the passing of Dr. Du Bois. February 20th through the 23rd, we will host 150 panelists over 4 days, talking on 30 panels, all about Dr. Du Bois. The conference will end on the 23rd, which is his birthday, and on that day, we will dedicate to Clark Atlanta University's campus a bust of Dr. Du Bois, commissioned by President Brown and myself with co-chairs of the conference, cited by the citing committee, which did include Dr. Jenkins and Tina Dunkley, the head of the CAU Art Gallery. And we will commit to this campus a tangible memory of this amazing scholar. We end with education, and for me, this is ending where I began with Dr. Du Bois. Many of the people that I speak with tie their first interaction with Dr. Du Bois to the souls of Black folk. That was my first interaction as an undergraduate at Cal State Long Beach, but my first substantial interaction with Dr. Du Bois was in the College-Bred Negro and the College-Bred Negro American, which I used for the book Black Women in the Ivory Tower as a critical site of research that came after Anna Julia Cooper's Higher Education of Women in 1890 and before Charles Johnson's Negro College Graduate in 1938. But these two studies, for me, really, long before I got to Clark Atlanta University, helped me understand the centrality of HBCUs in Black women's education, and this institution in particular. For example, Shaw University graduated these are 1910 numbers, graduated 82 Black women, college women. Bennett, 71, Fisk, 58, and Clark College, 34 Black women college graduates, Atlanta University, 34 Black women, so 36 and 34, even more than Howard University college graduates, women at that time, which was 23. So ending on this note for me is very personal, it's very exciting, and before I introduce our panelists, I will introduce Mr. Bilal Abbey, who is a undergraduate history major, here to give us just a very quick, brief overview of these readings that we have today and his interaction with Dr. Du Bois.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is W.E.B. Let me first say that I'm honored to be able to play a small part in the W.E.B. Du Bois series, and even more honored to be able to bear witness to the changes happening on our campus concerning paying homage and remembering the life and legacy of W.E.B. Du Bois. I had 1 year ago the wonderful opportunity to work for the W.E.B. Du Bois Memorial Center of Pan-African Culture in Accra, Ghana. It was a wonderful experience. I got to touch some of the original copies of his books, including his dissertation, some of the original copies of the Crisis magazine, some of his lecture robes and his graduation robe from Harvard. And it was a very transformative experience. And I believe that we'll be able to take some of our students here that are undergraduate and graduate to Ghana to be able to experience that as well. That would be a wonderful thing. Today, like Dr. Evans said, we're talking about education here at this Du Bois series, so let me introduce the 4 works that we'll be talking about. First one is The College-Bred Negro, that was published in 1900 by the Atlanta University Press. The second is The Negro Common School, that was published in 1901, also by the Atlanta University Press. The College-Bred Negro American, which is 1910, Atlanta University Press. And The Common School and the Negro American, that is 1911, Atlanta University Press. These books are looking back and reevaluating how we interact with education, not just as students, but as educators, which is even more important because our students need to know that our educators are actively trying to transform and actively trying to address the issues that their education needs to be able to address in their life. So today I'm going to let Dr. Evans introduce our 5 panelists and we'll get this series started off. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Abbey. I will briefly introduce our 5 panelists, but know again that you can find their biographies online at the CAU website. We will begin with Dean Sean Warner. He's the Dean of the School of Education. He was formerly the Dean of the College of Education at Grambling State University and former chairperson of the Department of Secondary Education and School Leadership at Norfolk State University. Recently, he served on a panel with other Georgia Deans of Education discussing dropout prevention strategies and participated in an interview alongside then Provost and a student from the School of Business on WCOK. The program was titled Preventing Another Troy Davis. Some of his work has been published in the International Journal Multicultural Learning and Teaching, and he has recently been asked to contribute to book projects on education. Warner describes himself as a pragmatist who believes in transformative educational experiences and innovative thinking. And as a graduate of the University of Massachusetts, like Dr. Brown and myself, it has been a pleasure of mine to know Dean Warner for quite some time. Next, we have Dr. Isabella T. Jenkins, also known as Dr. J, who grew up in a higher education environment. And during her elementary and middle school years, she spent time on multiple college campuses. Higher education is in her blood. She received her bachelor's degree from Clark College in 1953. Immediately following her matriculation from Clark College, she attended Columbia's Teachers College in New York, where she received her master's and professional degrees and later earned her PhD from Georgia State University with a dissertation titled Career Aspirations of Selected Black College Students. She's been ensuring the success of Clark Atlanta University students for 47 years. Most notably, she has served as the director of the honors program that has just been named in her honor. Dr. Josephine Dr. Josephine Bradley, who earned her PhD from Emory University in African American Studies. Her research interests are African American women's spirituality and school desegregation, or the sociology of education, oral history, and African American Women's Autobiography. Her dissertation title was Wearing My Name, School Desegregation in Greensboro, North Carolina, 1954 to 1958. Her publications include chapter on Africana Women's Studies in Anthology of Women's Studies Programs, and reviews in Journal of Ethnic Studies, and Doing Diversity in Higher Education. I am indebted to Dr. Bradley because she was my predecessor as chair of the department and has been extremely helpful. Dr. Miles Irving. Miles Anthony Irving received his bachelor's degree from the University of California at Berkeley. We've got the West Coast represented. His PhD in educational psychology from the University of California at Santa Barbara. Currently, he's an associate professor at Georgia State University in the Department of Educational Psychology and Special Education. Prior to earning his doctorate, Dr. Irving taught high school and worked at various educational and community programs in Oakland, California. He maintains an active line of research investigating the impact of cultural and social variables on human agency and cognition. Also very pleased to have Dr. Irving here. He's a personal friend and was at my wedding, so thank you very much for coming. So. And finally, we will end with Dr. David Wall-Rice. Yes, I did have one. We will end with Dr. David Wall-Rice, born in D.C. And living elementary school years in Los Angeles, California as well, coming of age in Arlington, Texas. Rice calls on a diverse set of experiences in situating his work as an educator, writer, and social justice advocate. He is an associate professor of psychology at Morehouse College, where he leads the Identity Orchestration Research Lab and serves as co-director of the college's Cinema, Television, and Emerging Media Studies program. Dr. Rice graduated from Morehouse College with a BA in psychology, earning a master's degree in journalism also from Columbia University, and a doctorate in personality psychology from Howard University. He's also an embedded journalist for the Gordon Commission of the Future of Assessment and Education, and is at work on his second book, Visible Man, MC's Identity and Psychology of Hip-Hop Narratives. Rice's current research looks at identity and the self within recast social context of the Obama era and the psychology of strength as informed by study in Israel, Haiti, and Ghana. We are blessed to end the year-long seminar series with such a distinguished panel.